got you stuck off the realness.
So is another episode of the PICK6IX podcast. Headlines are as follows. Are the Bills in trouble? Brian Daboll fired by the Giants? Will Cleveland Browns ever get it right? Did the Vikings fumble on the quarterback position? Santa Claus and much, much more. The show begins now.
Stride, clock winds under 4. End zone wide open, Odunze for the Bears touchdown in Chicago.
Very warm on third down, H.N. He's got room again. See you later. Another touchdown.
The fake to Walker, who offers a block. And then going deep and looking inside the caught. Smith and Chippa with the crowd. What a catch. 43 yards.
Don't tell me. They got him.
Are you kidding?
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
If it's on Cleveland, the game is over.
Here we are once again for another week. We're week 10. We've been going strong for 10 weeks now, and it just gets better. So for those that are regular listeners, welcome back again. Week 10. Can you believe it? It's already been 10 weeks of football, and there's so much to talk about. So, man, oh man, oh man. Where do I start? Now, I'm trying to, because I have the games that I've chosen, but it's just, what games do I want to talk about? Who wants to go first? Because you know what? On top of what's been going on, there's been so much news. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much news after. Sometimes it's best just to wait a couple extra days so that you could really bring out, all the other things. But you know what? I'm going to go with this crapshoot, and I'm going to go dun 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 dun. Cleveland and New York, the Jets. Man, oh man, how do I start with this? 27-20 Jets. I didn't expect this. Cleveland is 0-5 on the road. They've won 2 games at home, one against Green Bay, and I think the other one was against Cincinnati, if I'm correct. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But nevertheless, this game was based on just special teams and just undisciplined decisions at critical times. I mean, you look at the Jets and you're saying to yourself, how did they win this game? You look at the Cleveland defense, who's ranked number 2 overall, and you're like, how are they 2-7? Well, the offense is no good. Justin Fields only threw for 54 yards, threw a touchdown interception, was sacked 3 times, and only had 6 completions with 11 attempts. Breece Hall was a bright spot in that game. I mean, he had that receiving touchdown that was pretty cool when he ran for like 42 yards. And then he had a couple of amazing catches in that game. I mean, Garrett Wilson is going to be out for a while, if you don't know already. But then you look on the other side, Dylan Gabriel, 17 for 32, 167, 2 touchdowns, no picks, got sacked 6 times. Judikins had, 75 yards with 22 carries. Jerry Jeudy had a touchdown. He looked normal. Of course, David Njoku did his thing. But both these teams, this was a game where it was like, it didn't go right for both teams, but yet the Jets won. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, the Jets didn't look good offensively. They looked horrible. Special teams won the game. Cleveland, Dylan Gabriel, although he had the 2 touchdowns and all that, he just did not look like a guy who was comfortable in the offense. If you're Kevin Stefanski, I'm not saying start Shedeur. Hear me out. But it's not going to get better for you. It's not going to get better for New York. But Aaron Glenn is going to be there next year. They have a lot of draft capital. They're going to do something with that draft capital. They have to. They got to do something. They just gave away 2 pieces earlier in the week, Sauce Gardner and Quiddy Williams. So the Jets have to do something with whatever they have. I don't believe they will. I believe they're going to F it up as usual. Cleveland, I mean, these 2 teams are going to be number 3, 4, or 5, or 6 in the draft. I mean, there hasn't been a consensus number 1 pick yet, but at the end of the day, this is what it is. This is what you get with these 2 teams. This was just an awful display of how bad these franchises are and how nowhere they're going to be going. Like, the nowhere door has entered Cleveland and New York, and it's going to be there for a long time because these 2 teams are clueless on what direction, on where they want to go direction-wise. They're just clueless. Like, it's just unbelievable. Like, how do you not understand? Like, I have to tell you, I watched this game, and it was a poor football game. It was poor. It was a very poor football game. So I don't know where else to go with this, but to say, hey, man, these 2 teams are going to be struggling for a long time. But I'm going to stop with these guys, and I'm going to go to the next one because this next one is just, I wouldn't call it a shocker, but I would say they got to figure it out. Buffalo and Miami. Now, you would expect Buffalo to get it right here, do something, going into this game, they were 6-2, a game behind New England, who had a game also in hand. They looked flat from the start. Buffalo looked flat. The offense just wasn't rolling. Miami came in and did what they wanted to do, and they won the game. Josh Allen played like classic Josh Allen, who had a couple of picks or a fumble, like he did, like I watched live against my Vikings a few years back. He just didn't look comfortable. I mean, I don't know what to say about Buffalo. They're 6-3. Are they a playoff team? Absolutely. But the thing for Buffalo is just get in and let the rest take care of itself. But you got to go into the playoffs with a mindset of being ready and ready to compete. You can't just go into the playoffs with a lackluster game. I mean, Josh Allen, 28 for 40, 306, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, was sacked 3 times. And you're looking at it and saying, oh my gosh, that was a good game. How did he lose? The stats, sometimes you watch a game, folks, and the stats don't justify anything. It really doesn't. He played poorly in that game. Tua didn't play good either. He threw 2 picks, and they were 2 dumb interceptions. He only threw for 173 yards, but Buffalo couldn't capitalize on it. Now, the guy that absolutely cooked them was HN. HN did whatever he wanted. He had 22 carries for 174 yards and a touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns. Let me correct myself. 22 carries, 174, 2 touchdowns, and his longest run was a 59-yarder. I watched that live. I was like, wow. Like, that was the nail in the coffin for Buffalo. It felt like this game has just turned Buffalo into a different team now. It's almost like they went from Super Bowl contender to mid-Carter level. They got to figure it out. This is not the time to start trying to make excuses. The Bills are going to have to figure it out. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, long finish to the season. And I'll tell you right now, they're going to find themselves out of the playoffs very quickly. So I'm going to go to the next one here. Minnesota and Baltimore. I don't know where to go with this. I'll be honest with you. Baltimore came in 3-5, needing the win. They came out and did what they had to do. Minnesota, as a Vikings fan, I'm not going to shy away from how I feel about certain things. And I've said this before. You're 1-3 at home. You're 4-5 in a very tough NFC. I said that this was a 9-8 team with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. I'm not going to get into the Sam Darnold thing because I understand why they made the moves. Financially, it would have cost them a lot more. They probably wouldn't have a good team on defense. I'm just saying this. J.J. McCarthy threw his highest amount of attempts in his football career, which is 42. 20 for 42, 248, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. J.J. McCarthy is not a touchdown passing quarterback. The system in Minnesota is not built for his style of play. He could have went to the Chargers with his coach. But the question is, how come his coach didn't draft him? Because sometimes college coaches know that their players are college players, not NFL players. As you see through all these drafts throughout the years with all these great college players from Tim Tebow to this guy to that guy, it doesn't work out in the pros. Tim Tebow did have his one moment in Denver with that overtime touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas, the late great Demaryius Thomas. But that's about it. And after that, he just went down the toilet. At the end of the day, what I want to know, actually what I want to hear is, I want O'Connell to admit he made a mistake. Because he did. I said it's not going to work with J.J. McCarthy. And I'm telling you, they got a game against the Bears this week at home. They're playing the Bears. I guarantee you if they lose that game, there's going to be some problems. Players are already starting to disconnect. I watched the game. And it's not disconnect because of the situation. They're disconnecting because they don't have the quarterback. He is not the guy. Lamar Jackson only threw for 176 yards and a touchdown. He didn't have to do anything. The defense did the rest of the work. Derrick Henry only had a run for 75. Zay Flowers only had 75 yards receiving. He didn't have to do nothing. Jalen Naylor, though, had 5 receptions for 124. It's almost like Jalen Naylor and J.J. McCarthy are the combination. That's fine. Jalen Naylor, technically on the depth chart, is the 3rd receiver. Some people say he's the 4th with Adam Thielen being there. But what are you doing with Adam Thielen if you're going to go to Jalen Naylor? Like, I'm looking at this, Jalen Naylor. You got Justin Jefferson with 37 yards. You got Jordan Addison, who he likes to throw to also with only 35. Aaron Jones had more yards receiving than Adam Thielen. What is going on with this offense? TJ Hawkinson only had 8 yards. Like, what is going on with this offense? And what's going on with Kevin O'Connell? I don't believe in what Kevin O'Connell's doing with J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy, it was a nice try. Admit that you were wrong and find another quarterback. You have a roster that's that good, a mid-level roster, and you're going to start with a quarterback like this. You are asking yourself to lose. Don't do Shanahan and make these kind of moves and expect. But you know what? Shanahan has been successful with quarterbacks, although he's made stupid, incompetent decisions in the most important games of the NFL season. Mac Jones, look what he did with Mac Jones. Kevin O'Connell, look what he did with Sam Darnold. Jimmy Garoppolo, it was okay, but the injuries and he made a decision and got rid of him. I give Santa Claus respect for that. Why is it that O'Connell is not sitting down and realizing that this is not working? This is not working. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. I always say this is not your other ESPN, Fox shows where people just babble and state their opinions and be opinionated instead of stating facts. They're 4-5 and 1-3 at home. They're not winning games and they're not being consistent enough. You go and beat Detroit at Detroit, and then you come and do this, you stink. Get a quarterback. I'm sorry, as a Vikings fan, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. If they don't get another quarterback, this is going to continue. Kevin O'Connell's going to either get fired or guys are going to quit on him. And we already know that Kwesi is going to get his ass fired too. I'm telling you, the NFL, don't end up like Nico Harrison. That's all I'm going to say. If you guys know who he is, trust me, you should know who he is. That's all I'm going to say. Because this is just You just watch this kid, and he's not good. He's not good at all. So let me just stop. Anyways, the next game I'm going to go to Philly and Green Bay. And it's interesting because this game ended 10-7, just like the first game of week 10 that ended 10-7 between the Broncos and LA. But I'm not going to get into that game. But what I will say is, Jalen Hurts classic 15 for 26, 183, a touchdown. I gotta keep saying, if Jalen Hurts throws under 30 to 35 times a game, he's gonna win. That's his style of play. Saquon ran for 22, had 22 carries for 60 yards only. Devontae Smith got his touchdown. Goddard got his yards. A.J. Brown, 2 receptions for 13 yards. I'm gonna get to him in a second. Jordan Love, 176, no touchdowns. When they made the trade for Micah Parsons, I told everybody via this podcast, calm down. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Because this is not a shoo-in at all. It's not. It's not a shoo-in. There are going to be some rough patches, and God has it not been a lie. It's been facts. Like, for example, you go to Cleveland, you lose 13-10. You go to Carolina, you lose at home to Carolina, 16-13. Then you lose to Philly 10-7. So you got a game at the Giants. Don't lose that one because they don't listen. Scatterboo's out. Jackson Dart's out for the foreseeable future, and Malik Neighbors is done for the season. And they just fired their coach. That's supposed to be a shoo-in, but we know how this plays out, and this is a division game. And then you got Minnesota coming. J.J. McCarthy starts in that game. I could tell you right now, they'll probably win that game. Then a game at Detroit. Then you got a couple division games in Chicago and Denver. It doesn't get easy for Green Bay. So they got to figure it out. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where, and then, of course, like, back to A.J. Brown. I don't know how long they're going to keep this guy on this team. He's not happy with this. I don't care if they win 10-7. A.J. Brown, who's a top receiver, only getting 2 receptions for 13 yards. He's not going to like that. That's not what he's there for. So these two teams have things to figure out. Green Bay, they better figure it out sooner or later. As for the Eagles, they're 7-2. They're good. They're 4-1 on the road. But how long is this Band-Aid going to stay on? Because both these teams, I don't see consistency enough for me to say Super Bowl. I just don't see it. So 10-7 Eagles, they pulled that off, which was a good win. The next game I'm going to go to here, and I think I got this was a throw. I'm going to go with Chicago and New York because there's a couple things I'm going to bring up here. New York has blown multiple leads in multiple games, and they just can't get W's. Jackson Dart, before he got knocked out of his senses, was 19 for 29, 242. He was actually playing very well. He was. He ran for 66 yards and got 2 touchdowns on 6 carries. And then, of course, Caleb Williams had his, 20 for 36, 221 touchdown. I'm going to go back to Jackson Dart. Whatever Brian Daboll was dialing up, it was working. But the problem is he was leaving Jackson Dart exposed. And Jackson Dart got his bell rung multiple times. I think this is his 4th concussion or whatever in the last couple games. I think that was one of the reasons why they got rid of him. The Giants are 0-6 on the road. And, of course, Monday afternoon, it was announced that Brian Daboll was being relieved of his duties. No, he was fired, which I knew was coming. The problem is the GM is still there. He should get fired too. People are saying, oh, he's the one that wanted Jackson Dart, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he made a good choice because he's been a good quarterback since Eli Manning. Because the other guy that they have in Indy, I don't care what people say about Indy. Don't worry, he's going to show up in the playoffs and he's going to give Indy fans a heart. He's going to break their hearts. He's going to break their hearts. You watch. But anyways, Jackson Dart, man, I mean, he looked good. But with all the injuries and everything like that with the Giants, and then now Brian Dable being fired, which is just not a surprise. I don't know where they go from here. They got a game against Green Bay. Sorry, I think it's Green Bay they have a game against. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But anyways, we'll see where that goes. But Dable is gone, and we'll see where that goes. But it's going to be very interesting. When we come back, here is a soundbite for you guys to check out. I know you guys love the sound bites. Soundbite, and then I'm going to finish off Pick 6 with this game. Oh, this one is a classic. This has got to be the way to finish the show. And sorry, don't worry. This is a finale that I've been waiting for. This one I left, as they say, save the best for last.
Offense and defense is coming together. Now they got to straighten out their special teams.
Play action, man. Wide open is Colby Parkinson. He walks in. It's another Rams score.
The San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Rams 42, 49ers 26. And Matt Stafford looked well on their very comfortable 24 for 36, 284 touchdowns, no picks, was sacked once. Kyron Williams had 14 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, Puka, Kobe Parkinson, and Davis Allen all had a touchdown reception. And Hickabee, Parkinson, and Davis Allen were absolutely solid. The 3 tight end sets that they were running for blocking, catching, screens. The 3 tight end set really helped Stafford because we know Stafford's got the bad back. But then you look on the other side, you're saying, wait a minute, George Kittle had a good game. Jaron Jennings had a good game. And Mac Jones looked good. He was 33 for 39, 319, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was never sacked. So this time it was not Santa Claus. Santa Claus did what he could. He ran what he ran. Robert Saleh, where are you at? I think you're spending way too much time around Santa Claus because it rubbed off on you because it didn't work this week. Santa Claus, I can't even get mad at Santa Claus. Santa Claus coached a very smart game offensively. He knew what he needed to do, and he got what he needed. This was a game where Santa Claus should have won 26-23 or something, not get roasted 42-26. It's not Christmas yet. I mean, the chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jeez, couldn't wait until the 25th? Like, damn. But Santa Claus did what he could. I have to say that. If you watch, again, you got to watch the games. A lot of people base it on their opinion and what they hear. San Francisco just could not stop the Rams on defense. It was almost like Sean McVay just had a new game plan and completely had them discombobulated. But I'll say this. This division is very tight. We got 2 teams that are 7-2, Seattle and, of course, the Rams. And then these guys are at 6-3. I think it's 6-4. It's going to go right down to the wire. But Santa Claus did a good job in this game, coaching this game and really putting himself in the position to try to win. So I can't even say nothing bad about Santa Claus. The defense, Robert Saleh, has got to be better next weekend. Otherwise, it's going to be, that division will slip away pretty fast. But it looks like 3 teams from that division is going to make the playoffs, which doesn't surprise me. So in other news, of course, I already discuss the the Daboll firing. Justin Tucker is eligible to be re-signed. Sorry, not re-signed. Justin Tucker is eligible to be signed by a team. His 10-game suspension lifted. Why, I don't know. Travis Hunter out for the year, as most of you know. And Travis Hunter is a phenomenal football player, but he's going to have to make a decision eventually what position he wants to be more prevalent at, because he's not going to last in the NFL playing these boys trying to play two positions. These guys are ferocious on the defensive end, and the offensive end, people are not playing. It's just, he's going to have to make a choice. He says he wants to play both, but eventually he's going to be forced to play one. Desmond Watson, man, my guy that's in Tampa, is trying to lose the weight. Last measured at 6'5", 449, has been released from the practice squad. So I don't know what's going to happen with this kid. I just hope somebody gives this kid a chance or try to help him out. I know he wants to play football. So, and then which leads me to Jair Alexander, who took a leave of absence from the Eagles after being traded to the Eagles on the 1st of November. You know, again, it goes back to the mental health situation I've discussed already, man. These guys are human also. Desmond Watson, I'm hoping the best for him. And then Jair Alexander, who played a ton of years in Green Bay before going to the Ravens. Sorry, like it's that's why I say the media is a dirty, what do you call it? Entourage or whatever you want to call them, because they don't really say any good things. They're only saying things to pump their market and pump their social media, you know, all that crap. But nevertheless, I hope these players get the help that they need so that they're ready to play, because I know both of them want to play football. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another show. Again, week 10 is in the books. And of course, you know, keep listening. As I say always at the end to conclude, good morning, good day, good afternoon, not good after, sorry. Good night, good evening, all that good stuff. I think I've said enough. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Pick 6, week 10 in the books. I'm out. Peace.